Welcome back everyone to another video of World of Warship Legends, and today my very first game in the Suzuya and the process of me building it. Slot 1 here, always go with aiming systems mod 1. I want to tighten up that dispersion. Slot 2, prop mod, I want to be able to get off to a fast start. Slot 3, always going to run steering gears. I might change this one down the road though to concealment system and get that increased dispersion. And then slot 4, we're going to go gunfire control systems mod 2, get a little bit more range. This is a kiting ship. I want to make sure to keep as much distance between myself and the enemy team. Commander for this ship is A.L. Atago. As you can see here, I have inspirations of Kuznetsov and Scott. Again, I might take Scott off of this one eventually. Since we do have a total of 15 guns on this ship, you know, I can sacrifice some of the accuracy, and I might go with maybe a VN and build a full-on dispersion build. Try to get those battleship shells being a little less accurate when they're coming near me. We're going to have a game of Capture the Base on Land of Fire, and while this is loading, this is going to be a legendary tier game. And I'm going to take a second here to complain about the ridiculous legendary tier matchmaking. Now, part of this is because the 2 GKs on our team are in a div. But 2 GKs against 2 Yamatos in a GK is just ridiculous. The Yamato will outgun the GK every day of the week. It's just truly terrible matchmaking. It's not fun to be a part of most of the time, but I will say it's going to be fun in this ship. This ship is pretty incredible. On this ship, we have 5 turrets, 3 guns each turret, 155 millimeters. With my build, these things have a 16.9 kilometer range and a 9.5 second reload time. The HE has a max damage of 2,970 with a 19% fire chance. That's mainly thanks to A.L. Atago's Arsonist perk that really has a big boost on the HE damage and fire chance. And then the AP damage has max damage of 3,300. So not that big of a jump between the HE and AP max damage. This is a HE throwing ship. Kind of want to keep it that way. Torpedoes, this thing has the standard Mogami torpedoes. 8 torpedoes each side. Those are on 2 different launchers per side. Max damage of 17,233 hit points and a range of 11 kilometers. Truly frustrating to go up against these when you're chasing a Suzuya or any kind of Japanese cruiser that has those rear-facing torpedoes. It really just plays well into those game types and the way that ship is supposed to be played. With this build, I do have a 3.4 second rudder shift. It's on a 750 meter turn radius, and then the max speed is at 24.5 knots. Sorry, 34.5 knots. That's right. We spawned here on the west side of the map, getting a look at what ships we have, and immediately let's get this ship into its natural kiting position. You can see I'm switching over to torpedoes every now and then. I want to make sure I can get those off as soon as possible. But so far, these ships are playing rather smart. They're not pushing in too far, too fast, too early. Got the GK, the Yamato, and the Bismarck all over here, and this is a great matchup for me. You can see though, I have 9 hits already, only 981 points. That's mainly about where I'm hitting these ships on their body. I'm not getting a lot of the superstructure hits that I need to get those high damage numbers with the HE. But I slowly will start adjusting and figuring it out here as we go on. There we saw the Yamato point at us just for a second. We do have Ingenious on, so we're able to see how many ships are aiming at us at any given time. And I need to be able to juke their shots, and that is exactly what Ingenious is there to do. You can see there I had a solid salvo right there, right on the superstructure of the Yamato. Caught a fire on the front end, and there the next salvo get another fire, and the route is on fire-wise. Like this is just ridiculous. A ship shouldn't be able to set this many fires this quickly. Once I get the perma-fire going on the Yamato, I'm going to switch back over to the Bismarck. Bismarck seems to be getting a little bit more aggressive than the other ships over here. Little does he know, our one and the only destroyer in the game is over on this side as well, and they're going to have an issue. As you see there, though, we get the fire going on the Bismarck. We look back, checking the Yamato's guns, see that they are aiming at us. We turn out, but not enough to avoid all the shells. He does catch us with one, and like all Yamato hits, that was for 5,600 points, and that's rather painful. Now the Bismarck is pushing in far enough to really start getting in our torpedo range. Go ahead, get another set out there, and then just go ahead and keep the shells rolling. Just kind of a YOLO move by this Bismarck. Didn't seem to care too much. Fletcher catches him with a couple torpedoes, and he goes down. That's kill number one. But on the other side of the map, we do lose a Wichita. So we do have a slight advantage gun-wise. We have more battleships, but it's going to be a short-lived advantage as you see how this progresses. I decided we had kited away long enough. Again, I want to keep these battleships near my max range. I don't want to get much closer than that, simply because I can be dev-struck with this non-existent armor on this ship pretty easily. So keep them right around max range, but we need to make sure that we can go in and make sure that we do have enough range to keep firing on them. We get spotted here, and most likely it's that Cleveland that we see just to the north. And the GK and Reichelu are both just kind of sitting still. So as long as they are, I'm just going to keep going perpendicular to their path. It seems like they're leaving me alone for the most part, simply because I have made a couple of them miss some of their salvos. I know as a battleship driver, that's one of the most frustrating things to happen is you've been waiting for 30 seconds for your guns to load, and then you shoot at a kiting cruiser and just whiff on everything. That's extremely frustrating. At this point, each team has lost one cruiser and one battleship, and all I want to do is I want to keep making these battleships burn their damage con. Since we do have the lone destroyer on our side, if I can get them to use up that damage con, perhaps he can get some torpedoes on them, get them flooding. They're either going to have to damage con the flooding or fire. At the rate I'm setting fires, it can be absolutely frustrating and extremely difficult to deal with. Even though fires do a low amount of damage, at the rate that I'm able to put them on other ships, it's going to bring back the HE spamming more than it was previously. And if you combine this with the torpedoes, I think the Suzuya, all of a sudden, the last two campaign ships we've had, the Achikov and the Suzuya, are just two of the most annoying and frustrating ships to go up against. I'm not going to say the term quite overpowered. I do think the Achikov is a better ship than the Suzuya, simply due to the long range radar and the lower fire rate. Or sorry, faster fire rate. But Suzuya is going to be an issue, especially when you have teams that are playing in divisions. If you pair this with, say, a good spotting destroyer and a battleship that's able to pop some of the damage away from the cruiser, it's going to be truly devastating. Here we're back on the Yamato. This is the same one that we had burned earlier. Again, we're looking for those shells incoming. As soon as we see them, hit the brakes, turn out, get the stern pointed at the ship, and get them to whiff. You can see he stopped aiming at me there. Again, that has to be extremely frustrating to go through that and completely whiff. Unfortunately for me at this point, there's not a lot of other targets. Our team has kind of folded. Our GK div, one of them's dead, the other one is in the dead center of the map and getting focused pretty good. Or sorry, there's the first dead one. Now the other one's still in the center of the map, just getting focused. And you can see we have one Yamato to the northwest, another Yamato to the northeast. And at this point, this game is getting out of control in a hurry. I'm trying to decide which way I want to go. I stopped firing my guns. One, I got a little bit far out of range, but two, I need to get up north a little bit further. And before I do that, I want to make sure that I'm at my lowest detectable level. So I'm going to go ahead, turn back north, swing the guns all the way around, and then focus back on this group of ships that's over here with the Fletcher. A little bit earlier, you saw the withering metal pop up, and that's one thing I think this ship's going to be awesome at. It's going to just print these metals like it's its job. This ship probably will have a lower kill count than most other cruisers, but the damage numbers will be high, simply because the ability to deal these fires and the fire damage is going to be incredible. I'll say kills are a little bit, I'm expecting kills to be a little bit lower, simply because the fires do take longer time, and that's going to allow your teammates to get other shots in. And you're not going to get these 10, 15,000 damage salvos anymore, unless you're hitting them with the torpedoes, of course. But I'm interested to see how it shakes out and where this ship lands in the meta. Yeah, right there, GK overmatches the armor and gets the Citadel. And this is kind of the beginning of the end for me. At this point, I'm having to decide which way to go. I thought the Reichsley would be dead. Unfortunately, he must have been healing, and I made a mistake, and he absolutely just destroys me with that salvo. So at this point, it's all but over. I'm trying to swing around now, get this other side of torpedoes off on the GK. Reichsley did a great job of avoiding those torpedoes. And unfortunately, we're going to end up going down here. Just enemy did a great job closing in, and we were getting fire from every side. That's all we have for today's video. What are you guys' thoughts on the ship? Do you like it, dislike it? What are your thoughts as a battleship player going up against this moving forward? Leave your thoughts down below in the comments. Thanks for watching, guys. If this is your first time coming, please consider hitting subscribe. We'll have a lot more videos coming at you shortly. Have a great day.